Hi guys, this is Minnie Small or Semi-Skimmed Min, covering the fundamentals of painting with gouache. In the previous videos we got to know a little bit about this paint, how it behaves, how to use it and what tools you'll need to use it. So putting it all together and revising all the points we've covered, I'm going to do a quick gouache painting to demonstrate how I use it and to put all those techniques into practice. To start off with, I have all the tools I'll need laid out in front of me. For this painting I'm going to be using Strathmore's 500 series watercolour paper and Royal Talens gouache, and you can see how and why I chose each of my tools specifically in the previous videos. Next I'm going to start mixing up my first colour. I plan on starting my painting with a wash of pink in the background, so I'm adding quite a bit of water to my paint at this stage. I'm creating a smooth wash of colour around my subject, adding more water as I get closer to the edge of my painting to create a gradient that softens or fades out slightly. Then I deepen that colour on my palette, adding blue and more of that magenta with a bit less water, so my paint is a little more opaque as I build towards the foreground. Because gouache dries so quickly, I never really have to wait too long between each layer. Most of the time, by the time I finished on one side of the painting, the previous layer on the other side of the painting is dry enough to paint over without worrying about smudging or blending. So with my next layer, now that we're getting to the foreground, I'm adding almost no water to my paint at all to give this part the most opaque finish. I also add some small extra details with an almost dry brush to give a textured look to the bark of the tree. And so already so far in this painting you can really see the versatility of gouache paint, from light gradients to solid colour to textured lines. So a simple way that I found to keep a sense of cohesion across the colours in my painting is to create new colours while still incorporating the shades that I've already been using on my palette. So here I'm mixing up a brown using the purple that I've used so far with the addition of yellow. And to give this part more texture, I'm also smudging in a few darker areas here and there. Now when I'm making this green, again I'm mixing it in with some of the other colours I have on my palette, and then I'm just layering it on thickly on top of the existing parts of the painting that I want to cover. I also use my favourite blending technique of gradually adding intermingling strips from one colour to another. Then it's my favourite part for my particular style of painting, which is adding some line work. What I love about gouache, and something that this brand in particular is great at, is how far you can stretch a small amount of paint. It applies smoothly and consistently to create bold, crisp lines without needing to reapply paint to your brush too often. So I carry on like that for the remainder of the painting. I'm also adding some outline details to the bushes in the foreground. Then for some finishing touches, I actually use water to reactivate and smudge out some of the dried outlines on the face to darken up some areas that I want to bring out a bit more. Then it's just a case of adding some white highlights and I'm all done. And there you have it, a confused bear in the woods, and that's really all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed this series of videos. I hope you found them useful. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye.